So I have a great question today. How to love yourself first. How do I love myself first? And I want to explore that. I have a ton of notes. We'll see what wants to come through. And there's some noise here from people working, but it's not loud at all, so I think we'll be fine. And yeah, let's jump into it because there's so much that I want to share. I love the analogies, which we all hear all the time, right? And if you're on a plane, you put your own oxygen mask first, otherwise you can't help other people. And then the other analogy, that you can't give from an empty cup. You can't give what you don't have, right? So it's okay, we hear those all the time, we forget them all the time because we still maybe are a little too busy, a little too overwhelmed, and we still don't take time to slow down because we feel like we can't, we feel like we don't have enough time. That's okay. That's okay. And what I also wrote down, and it's something that it's very interesting, that it's always easier to be kinder to other people, and it's always easier to be compassionate, or at least typically easier to be compassionate to others, or be kinder, be nice, be loving to other people than it is to ourselves. Like, our inner dialogue in our minds is pretty harsh sometimes. And that's why I feel like one of the first crucial things is to realize that that's okay. If we're trying to be too perfect, if we're forcing ourselves to be perfect 100% of the time, it's gonna drive us fucking crazy. So first, realizing that I'm a human being. I'm going to go through cycles. I'm going to go through patterns. Yes, I have patterns. Holy shit. Is it that bad? When we really understand that the way we've been raised, and not only our families, but society, our culture, the world, the media, there's a lot of things influencing us as we grow up. So of course we have fucking patterns. It's okay. It's okay. And so being gentle with yourself for the fact that you can't be gentle with yourself. I always say, don't beat yourself up for beating yourself up, because the cycle's just going to keep going on forever. If you notice that you're beating yourself up, just notice it and enjoy it, laugh about it. And the more okay you make it, because you realize you're a human being and not a computer, the gentler it gets over time. I also wanted to share the idea that when we give, I think the two biggest things here, when we give too much time or energy away to other people, to other things, and not enough to ourselves, we start to resent that. And we see that a lot when we feel like we have obligations, but we really maybe don't want to do it. And at the same time, if we don't balance that with time for ourselves, we start to resent that. And that's going to explode eventually. It's going to come out in some way, or even in subtle ways. It's not going to be a big event, but just food addiction, porn addiction, any kind of addiction, that emotional eating and all kinds of things. I love the analogy of a beach ball, right? And you put it under the water, either in the ocean or in a pool, and you're holding it there. And the deeper you push it, the more pressure it builds. When you let it go, it shoots up like fucking crazy. So when we have a lot of emotions, when we're overwhelmed and we push it under the ocean, right? We push it under the water and we try to hold it there, and we don't take a minute to breathe and decompress, or maybe take some of that pressure off, that ball is eventually gonna come up. Trust me, I've experienced that throughout my life. So I don't like to, if I just give you tips, we forget about these and they're not going to change anything. But sometimes analogies can be incredibly helpful, because maybe when you're going through this, you can remember that analogy of the ball and realize, holy shit, I need to take some time for myself. So it's not easy, but yeah. The other thing that I wrote, so how to love yourself first. It's interesting when we realize, like, we can kind of like run away from or hide away from people, but the only person that you can't run away from or hide from is yourself. And we think we can with food and alcohol, drugs, Netflix. We think we can, but we can't. We can't run away from ourselves. So at some point, and same thing, don't force yourself, don't judge yourself. If you're not going to be able to do this 24/7. I still use distractions such as movies, YouTube, a bunch of things, which some people might label as distractions, and you might feel bad that you do that and you're not journaling 24/7, you're not doing mirror work 24/7, you're not doing self-love meditations 24/7. Just realizing that, and at the same time being radically kind with yourself, radically compassionate with yourself, and realizing that it's okay that you're having trouble with this. It's okay. And how to love yourself first. It's interesting that this might be one of the hardest things for us to do. And I had a funny thought a little while ago when I was making a video, and I shared it in a video. I have no idea what the name is, so I don't know where to direct it to, but I was talking about how when we've filled, everyone talks about fill your own cup first, and what overflows is for other people, and you can't give from an empty cup, so fill your cup first. What I realized too is that when we fill our cup enough, doesn't need to be 100% full, when we fill our cup enough, now giving to other people also fills our own cup. And I thought in my mind of the image of, like, a bartender might have two glasses and they do a little trick where they pour a drink and it comes into both glasses. So you're helping the other person, but you're filling your own cup at the same time. So sometimes if you can't love yourself first, maybe you can do it through someone else by sending a nice text, a beautiful note, a beautiful letter, a beautiful email, a call, just giving someone a beautiful compliment out in the street, out in the supermarket, the post office, any store you go into, reminding someone of how much they mean to you. Because through gratitude, it's funny as well, through gratitude you do fill your own cup, and you might help someone feel amazing when you give them an honest, authentic compliment, or any kind of sharing that comes from your heart. So sometimes it's funny that one way to love ourselves first might be to not start with ourselves. And that's why it might sound strange, but now looking back, the fact that I started the video with saying it's okay if you can't love yourself first, and once you make that okay, I feel like making the fact that you always put other people before you, once you make that okay, now putting other people before you might actually help you as well. So it's an interesting perspective to consider. I don't know if it's right. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. Just have questions and ideas. But what if you try that? What if you, first of all, do fill your own cup enough, whatever that means for you? A nature walk, going out for a walk, a little hike, going out to the beach, a park, just going for a walk and listening to music, just listen to music at home, dancing, singing, a hobby that you enjoy, anything that fills your own cup. And when you feel like you've filled it enough, what if you fill someone else's cup? What if you explore that and play with that? See how that feels. I like that idea. So I know it helps because I do it a lot, and it's beautiful and it helps and it's amazing. So I just invite you to consider that. And if you like this and you want to go deeper, you can actually join our free private group by going to my website, gonzalocords.com, and you can join the newsletter. You'll get the link to join the group, because we talk about these things and we go deeper and deeper in topics and just trying to find more ways to help. And I love having these conversations. So having a group where we can share ideas like that is beautiful. So if you want to, you can head over to my website. And if not, just stay tuned because there's a lot more coming. If you could give it a little thumbs up, that helps so much. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next video.